fans booed him again after this performance.
Watson in the shotgun here, pressure coming, fires over the middle, and it's intercepted. Another deflected pass off the hands of a Browns receiver.
Whenever the whole stadium like booing and stuff, like when the shot get in, because he going out there, he trying to put in work too. Like that, and I don't really, respect that.
Can they all regroup and march forward with this, or do they have to make some really tough decisions now?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to First Take. Shay Cornett here with you. We have some breaking news from moments ago. Adam Schefter reporting that Deshaun Watson will be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns going forward. They play the Jacksonville Jaguars week 1, and so Deshaun Watson will take those QB1 snaps. Let's say hello to everyone here as we react to the news that we are all learning about in real time, especially after what happened this weekend. Hello, Kevin Clark, Dan Orlowski, Kimberly Martin. Okay, Kmart, I'm going to go to you first on this because I heard you say this morning on Unsportsman, like you thought this was going to be a real possibility, even after the comments that were made over the weekend by Deshaun Watson, essentially saying that the fan base doesn't like him. I'm paraphrasing. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But nonetheless, he's the starting quarterback for week 1. Your reaction?
I'm honestly not surprised. I thought this was going to be the outcome even before the press conference yesterday. I think when talking to Browns people as much as I do and being in Cleveland as much as I am, the sense I got since the offseason, since February, was Deshaun is healthy. Like, he's healthy. This is going to be an exciting season because he's finally healthy. And that was always sort of the prism that I looked at this quarterback competition through. Like, yeah, Todd Monken, a different head coach, a guy who's never worked with Deshaun. Can he be the guy, an offensive mind who we credited in Baltimore for, helping Lamar in this offense and scheming guys open? I thought Deshaun would be the guy. I think a lot of people felt like the press conference was like that was the end. He could never go in front of these fans again. And I just think for an NFL team, you're looking at it like he's been the best guy through camp competition. Maybe not the games, but through camp competition. And I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm not saying this is what I would do, but I am not surprised, as other people are, that Deshaun is the guy.
I am shocked. I feel awful for the fans of the Cleveland Browns. I have no idea how you could witness what you witnessed in that press conference and it not be a part of your evaluation and decision. I think the world of Todd Monken. I think he's a great coach. I think the world of Andrew Berry. I think he's put together really good football teams. I have no idea how they can make this decision. I said if this was strictly a football decision, strictly football, 50-50, start the guy you want, I'd be fine with it. Last week, I thought in preseason week 1, Deshaun played better than Shedeur. Week 2, it wasn't even close. Shedeur was markedly better than Deshaun. The performance this past Saturday by Deshaun was not good. It was candidly very poor. To have him have that interaction and make the comments that he made in a town, and Kimberly, you could speak to it better than I can, but like in a town, in a city, in a football fan base and franchise like Cleveland, and to sit there and be like, don't boo me, and it's more than just performance, the tone-deaf element of that, and then to name him the starting quarterback less than 48 hours out of it, I truly feel awful for that fan base because you can tell the fan base really likes Shedeur and wants Shedeur, and whatever reason why, I don't care. They don't with Deshaun. I'm shocked. I thought there was no way that they would name him the starting quarterback.
All right, really quick, Kevin, before you go here, let's hear that sound that we keep referring to from Deshaun Watson. This came after the preseason game over the weekend. He was booed heavily when he took the field. Now, he didn't play well, but nonetheless, this was his reaction to the boos that he heard during the game. Here's Deshaun Watson.
I think the whole world knows it has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that, so I think that's it's a disrespectful thing. Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer, it's a mental battle every day. I feel like I get more love on road games than I do home games. So if it is my my spot and he does make me the name, maybe it's 17 away games then. I don't know.
Does any of that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life.
All right. There's a lot to unpack there, a lot of words that were said. One thing that I want to just point out before I get to you, now he is named the starting quarterback, and he said he performs better in away games, the first 2 games for the Cleveland Browns this year.
3 of their first 5 are away.
Are on the road. The first 2 against Jacksonville, in Jacksonville, and then against the Bucs in Tampa Bay. Go ahead, Kevin, your reaction to this news that he's the starting quarterback.
Yeah, pathetic. I think pathetic is an all-encompassing phrase that I would use for all of this stuff. And Deshaun Watson's wrong about one thing. He's wrong about a lot of things, but he's wrong about one thing in this clip. It's not personal, it's business. It's performance-based. They boo him because he's an avatar for the worst trade in NFL history, the worst contract in NFL history, the fact that Cleveland fans have seen a lot of bad quarterback play, and even in that context, he's among the worst. He is among the worst. For a starting job, I would have gone Shedeur first, trade second, somebody like Todd Monken's former quarterback, Stetson Bennett, maybe somebody like that. Third would be Dylan Gabriel. Fourth would be Dan Orlovsky. Fifth would be Bernie Kosar. Sixth would be Deshaun Watson. Okay? Maybe you got you and Bernie. You and Bernie could do a little quarterback competition. I'd rather have that than Deshaun Watson starting just for the Cleveland fans. Cleveland fans, as you said, Dan, deserve better. I don't understand how you can face the fan base. And maybe this is a locker room thing. Maybe there were veterans on the team who said we need to start Deshaun to give us the best chance to win. Fine. Whatever. But I don't know how you can face the fan base and say this is the quarterback you deserve. Okay,
I think because as somebody who is always sent there, I have a different perspective, maybe because I think it's not what I would do, right? But when you say, how could they not listen to the fan base? Deshaun Watson's on the team. Clearly, they were not listening to the fan base when they decided in the midst of the whole situation with him to give up 3 first-round picks and give him $230 million guaranteed. So when you bring up the fans, they've already showed you that they're going to plow ahead with whatever they think will be the best football decision. Now, in their minds, Deshaun gives them the best chance. In their minds. Is that what I would do? No. I would want to know exactly what I have in Shedeur Sanders. Because at the end of this year, I want to know, because Deshaun is getting off the books. I want to know if next offseason, I will go out and get a rookie quarterback, right? So I need to know what I have in Shedeur. But clearly, based on what they have seen throughout the offseason on the field in practice, Dan mentioned the previous preseason game, Deshaun played better than Shedeur. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, or Saturday, whichever day it was, Shedeur clearly outplayed Deshaun. But they're looking at the total body of work. At least that is what they are saying internally, and their actions tell you that they don't allow fans to dictate football decisions, or else he wouldn't be on the roster. We've never had a situation where, as Dan said, it's a coin flip, and the quarterback hates the fan base publicly. And then you say, okay, he's still our quarterback.
Now, Todd Monken did point out, after all these words were said over the weekend, that press conference would have no bearing on who he was going to name the starting quarterback.
I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious when I say this. Browns fans should not go to games.
I agree with that.
Why would I go to this game?
But this is the tipping point, Dan?
Yes. At some point, there has to be a tipping point, though, Shay. At some point, there has to be. And maybe I'm being solo in this, but to watch that press conference and to hear him say, I get more love in road games, what would you expect the love to come from? You went there. Now, the organization chose to give you all the money.
Right.
Sure. But you've played in 19 games. 19 games. And then you have the performance, and you're standing there in the press conference with this attitude of entitlement in a way of, well, you guys should continue to support me. And it's like, as a fan going, we've done this song and dance, and the performance hasn't been good either. And to make that, if I was a Browns fan, I'm not going to the home game. No. I want Shedeur to be the starting quarterback. I want whoever to be the starting quarterback. I don't want Deshaun Watson to be the starting quarterback. And if we're going to sit here and say that the press conference will not have any bearing on the decision, and obviously it did not, I think that is a miss by both coach and organization.
I think we're looking at it because we're all on the same page. I'm just saying I anticipated the Browns would do this. That's all I'm saying. We're all on the same page at this table, though, in terms of the lack of awareness. the aloofness, the lack of accountability that Deshaun Watson has shown throughout his entire Cleveland tenure. Because as somebody who was there for the press conferences, for the training camp practices, for the games, this fan base supported, a large percentage of this fan base supported him. Ignored all the other stuff and said,
crying when he arrived? Crying at training camp, if I recall.
Said, we finally have a franchise guy.
Sure.
And they thought they were going to get the Deshaun of 2019 and all that. And so for him to act like he hasn't had the support of this fan base, he was given that by a large percentage. This is not personal. This is football. This is because the play hasn't been good enough. Now, I think we're looking at the body of work that he's been in Cleveland. He's either been hurt or he hasn't been good. Todd Monken is coming in and saying, I've given both quarterbacks a clean slate from the standpoint of I'm here now. I'm not going to judge them based on what they did under Stefanski. Let me get my hands on them and then see what they can do. So while we are thinking Deshaun hasn't really done anything to earn the $230 million, he hasn't done enough to claim this is his team. And in that locker room, they don't have issues with him. So as far as like how can he get the guys in the huddle and how's he going to lead this team if he's worried about the boos? Internally, that static doesn't filter in. This is a fan situation, and I'm curious if fans will do what you are suggesting.
I want to go.
Which is not go, because that's when ownership says, okay, we got to change course because I'm selling seats too. Yeah. And if no butts are in the seats, we have a problem.
The variance. I can only talk about the two preseason games that I've seen. So people and the writers that are there and the people that are covering the team on a daily basis would know better. But the variance between Deshaun and Shedeur in practice must be